Here in this section, part 9 in the truth folder, I wanted to endeavor to joke with you for the first 5 or 6 minutes with these cute images, some of them very thought-provoking. And after that, I will delve into a subject that we touched on in part 8 in more depth. It's not as though I went to the Library of Congress for any of this information. On the Hillbilly EDU channel, I only present things that armchair quarterbacks can all find on the internet, YouTube videos. So I searched out this subject, found these videos to be most thought-provoking, and put them together here in my opinion of the truth on this topic for you to ponder. It goes over subliminal messages in advertising, in movies, backmasking, and reverse speech. Very fascinating stuff, so enjoy.
Bob, there's a big question at the moment. Is John Howard being sincere about the threat of terrorism? Or is he just being a bit of a boogeyman, putting a fear out there so he can pass draconian laws? Now, we have a man who claims he's going to be able to test whether John Howard is telling the truth or not by recording his speeches and playing them backwards. He's David Oates. Thanks for joining us, the founder of an organisation called Reverse Speech.
Thank you very much for having me.
Now, how does this reverse speech work?
Well, the basic theory is that language is bi-level, forwards as well as backwards. As all of us are speaking, we are creating the sounds of our speech in such a way that we're saying two things.
And so if we're not telling the truth forwards, then the truth will come out when it's played backwards.
Exactly correct. What we're hearing in reverse is the real self, who you really are on the unconscious level.
Now, and you think children speak backwards?
Children are speaking backwards from as early as 4 months of age. They start off with simple single words, and then by the time...
And then why do they go forwards?
Well, that's when the conscious mind starts learning. See, the unconscious mind learns first. The unconscious mind picks up the information first. That is speaking in reverse, and then the conscious mind starts forward speech around about 13 or 14 months
And how do you know it's not just the laws of probability that if you play like a John Howard speech backwards for long enough, you're going to be able to find something? And
Sure. Yeah, well, that's one of the criticisms thrown at the field, but the fact is these reverse phrases are occurring once every 15 or 20 seconds of speech. They're occurring in grammatically correct sentences that relate directly to what's been spoken forwards, and the odds of that happening by pure chance are extremely high, to say the least.
Now, Bob, we're going to be listening now to John Howard speaking about terrorism to have it revealed to us whether he's telling the truth and he's sincere about the threat of terrorism, or he's lying just so he can pass draconian laws.
It has thus far been a quite uncontroversial amendment.
He's there talking about the sedition laws. And let's hear what he says in reverse.
Stop here.
Dark fear. So he is genuinely very concerned about the terrorist threat.
The next thing is John Howard talking about being able to imprison terrorists without charges.
An amendment that effectively substitutes the definite article.
And backwards?
They name innocent. So there is a risk in this legislation of innocent people also being arrested.
Now, this is John Howard talking about the 2002 Bali bombing.
Was its inclusion along with a number of other tourist and cultural locations.
And backwards?
They will fuck the
tourists. Now, so he sees future problems coming ahead. Now, bear in mind, this was in 2002, and he's saying more trouble is going to come.
So there were three things we played backwards. Yep. The first one,
stop here.
Howard, he's being sincere. He does have a deep fear of terrorism.
Have a deep fear.
The second one, he's being a bit insincere because he's putting forward this legislation that he knows may name innocent people. And then the third one, he's sincere again.
Yeah, he's being very sincere. In point of fact, I don't think he's being strong enough in the forwards. He should be saying in the forwards, hey, listen, we're going to have more attacks coming.
So he's about 50% honest.
50%, yeah, that would be a fair way to describe that.
Why don't we cut out all the forward speak and go straight for the reverse speech?
Oh, well, that would mean a world full of truth. I don't know whether we can handle that.
Well, we gave David Oates audio from an early episode of Speaking in Tongues. And what did you find there? The first one is me?
Yeah, I found two fascinating reversals that gave me some good insight into who you two are.
Ooh, okay, number one is me.
Yeah.
I asked him what my cut was. And what's that backwards?
It says, soul fucked, I'm on fire. And how I would interpret that is you're a man with some spiritual issues and you're driven with a passion to find answers. Fire means passion. And I would say that you are a man who has many questions that you want to have answered about.
There's more in the unconscious here than there is in the conscious, I'm telling you.
Yes,
Bob,
that's right.
We've also played one of yours. Let's hear.
I deny it from the start. Listeners, my friends out there, do not be afraid.
We call ourselves where anything goes, well then I presume
And backwards?
I can get it out Celeste. I can get it out Celeste.
I give a new sauce.
Oh,
That's
so
nice.
Yeah,
What-
so he's bringing in something nice
New
and fresh.
something fresh into
He's,
the thing.
couldn't that mean he's like deviating from the teachings of the Bible? He's bringing in a new source, possibly Anton LaVey's Satanic Bible?
Well, that wasn't the context
No,
of the forward dialogue, and we look at the forward dialogue to get the context.
Father Bob, can you either forwards or backwards thank our guest?
Thank you so much for being here,
You're most
David.
welcome.
And if that sounds off air a bit, well, it's not meant to be.
That sounds just fine.
Thank you.
Bob, thank you very much for taking me along as your date to that charity.
I want the people to know that they still have 2 out of 3 branches of the government working for them, and that ain't bad.
Is there anybody out there?
The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. But if thine eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness?
There is a revolution coming.
Excuse me? What do you mean?
The future is staring back at us like a perfect picture on glass. And this future, it must be protected.
What's it got to do with me?
Look,
What is it?
it will change everything. That's why they want to stop it. They will come after you without cease. Because the future belongs to us. LG OLED, a perfect picture on glass.
Who are you?
Oh, come now. I've already told you. The future is staring back at you. LG OLED TV.
For if any be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass. For he beholdeth himself and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was. For if any be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass. For he beholdeth himself and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was.
What's it got to do with me?
Look,
What is it?
it will change everything.
What's it got to do with me?
Look.
What's it got to do with me?
Look.
What is it?
It will change everything. That's why they want to stop it. They will come after you without cease. Because the future belongs to us. Belongs to us.
What is it?
It will change everything. That's why they want to stop it. They will come after you without cease. And this future, it must be protected.
And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand, or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
Who are you?
Oh, come now. I've already told you. The future is staring back at you.
Durchführen.
Oh. What? Oh.
Feed the ducks.
No, I'm not going to feed the ducks.
Feed the bugs.
Yeah, feed the bugs. Slap your face. Slap your face. Slap your face.
And I'm quite a good girl, and I'm quite good at maths and English, but not, and science, but I don't know anything else. I'm not telling. I'm not telling. I'm not telling. And I'm quite a good girl, and I'm quite good at maths and English, but not, I'm not telling. And science, but I don't know anything else.
Captain, I got a diaper for you.
A diaper?
Yeah.
Oh, meow. Oh, meow. A diaper? Oh, meow.
It's an amazingly badly written bill. A real bad meal. A real bad meal. A real bad meal.
I grew up kind of very aware of my own emotions. I am very aware.
I am very aware. I am very aware.
That has been cleared, and it is business as usual at the hospital. Lord, solve it.
Lord, solve it. Lord, solve it.
You came through in the 60s, the world changed. Do you feel the Beatles were part of the impact of that change?
Yeah, I think part of it, yeah. We weren't it all, but we were kind of spokesmen for it. And I grew up.
I grew up. I grew up.
Do I trust him? Yeah, I trust him. Do I like everything he says? No. And I suspect he doesn't like everything I say. But he helps us on it.
But he helps us on it. But he helps us on it.
We talked about nuclear security and made great strides in setting a foundation for future relations between the United States and Russia in dealing with nuclear security issues. You leading the show.
You leading the show. You leading the show.
I have been counting on the Russian support to send a clear message to the Iranians, and that support and that message is a strong message, and hopefully we'll be able to convince the regime that we have no problems with the people in Iran, but we do have a problem with the regime that is in defiance of international norm. Go send it.
Go send it. Go send it.
Steady financing and free-flowing communications are long over. For the terrorist life since 9/11 has never been the same. For America, this is a nightmare scenario. For the enemy, this is the objective. Chaos is the greatest ally, their greatest ally in this struggle. And out of chaos in Iraq would emerge an emboldened enemy with new safe havens, new recruits, new resources, and an even greater determination to harm America. Allies are good now. Allies are good now. Allies are good now. Whatever slogans they chant, when they slaughter the innocent, they have the same wicked purposes. They want to kill Americans, kill democracy in the Middle East, and gain the weapons to kill on an even more horrific scale. No miss is bad. No miss is bad. No miss.
Good morning. Laura and I are honored to welcome back to the White House Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II and His Royal Highness Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh. The American people are proud to welcome Your Majesty back to the United States, a nation you've come to know very well. We're abundant. We're abundant. We're abundant.
You've got cancer of the stomach? Are you ready for God to burn that cancer out? Here it goes in the mighty. Devil, back off. Back off, devil! Scamming this war theory. Scamming this war theory. Scamming this war theory.
We feel like there are at least two people on the face of this earth that know who did this. And that is the killer and someone that person may have confided in. One person. One person. One person. We feel like there are at least two people on the face of this earth that know. One person.
I can't believe that we have ever knowingly met anyone that can be this vicious. I'm the only one. I'm the only one. I'm the only one. I can't believe that we have ever knowingly met anyone that can be this vicious. I'm the only one.
Did you murder your wife? No. It's not. Did you murder your wife? No. It's not.
You don't have to play me backwards to get the meaning.
Kids of them had a driver's license, but not all of them, no. A lot on the That'll clear me. That's the one thing that'll clear anyone else involved with it that doesn't deserve to be. Death near the wall. Death near the wall. Death near the wall. That's what he told the police, and I was like, that's what. Now, if you also look back at that, you're like, I mean, that's horrible. They got arrested and held for. On the seal of the body. On the seal of the body. On the seal of the body.
Did Deepak had a job when this was a year ago? Where was he working?
He was working at an internet cafe. Yes, like that in the next rows we had. Yes, like that in the next rows we had. Yes, like that in the next rows we had. Going to a blackjack table and sitting down, and I remember her and her friends coming up to the table. This is our friend or her mother. This is our friend or her mother. McDonald's. I walked over to the McDonald's where he picked me up and took me home.
So it's a cell phone call to your house?
Yeah. At that point, you didn't really care about them. You're more caring about, about yourself. And when I talked to that guy later on, I wanted.
So when I walk into a room, and particularly before I have something really challenging to do, or I'm going to be in a circumstance where I feel I'm going to be, up against some difficulties. Come to me with your intention at whatever it is, whatever shows you're proposing, whatever ideas you're proposing. And then I will decide based upon the intention. So the reason why I left my boss's office when I was asking for a raise, I knew he didn't hear nor see me, neither. And that I was not going to get the validation that I needed. Now, I couldn't articulate that at the time. I just knew, let me get out of here. Let me share the light, but they're going to cons.
Let me share the light, but they're going to cons. Let me share the light, but they're going to cons.
The way through the challenge is to get still and ask yourself, what is the next right move? Not think about, oh, I got all of this stuff. What is the next right move? So it's not everything, but you really can change your own reality based on the way that you think. So I think if that is not a sign from Jesus himself, I never saw a sign bigger than that. So I audition, I hear nothing. I ended up months later calling the casting agent saying, I haven't heard anything. He said, you don't call me. What are you calling me for? So when I ask, what should I do? Should I do this? Should I do this? The bigger question is, what would you, God, the universe, have me do? We don't know. See in the show. We don't know. See in the show. We don't know. See in the show.
About how much time you may have left.
I asked them not to tell me. I don't want my faith level to go down. Messiah. 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 And I knew Billy quite well, and he said that someone that works for him said that him and Ruth told him, my hero screw away. My hero screw away. My hero screw away. That's the reason that I have lost so much weight.
What do they give you for the pain?
They give me
Morphine.
Morphine. It was no solve. It was no solve. It was no solve. I know where I'm headed, but I know the sadness, that comes with those that care about you. It's a nice
That's so nice.
I'm in so many different places at once. Yeah, it would be like Satan. It would be very sharp. Oh, sure if you believe yes, Sally's the way. Oh, sure if you believe yes, Sally's the way. Oh, sure if you believe yes, Sally's the way. Who cares the balance of what the in-betweens are, you dig? Used to me, Elvis. Used to me, Elvis. Used to me, Elvis.
It's not me at all, man. That's not me. I am audio. I am audio. I am audio. Spanish, get Spanish, be a remix, get Google, be a for travel.
They persecute themselves. They're butchering themselves every time they go on the freeway. They hate themselves. Look at the signs. When you're stupid. When you're stupid. When you're stupid. People you call my family were people that you didn't want, children that were alongside the road that their parents had kicked out. So I took them to my garbage dump and fed them and taught them that in love there's no wrong. The Lord without smaller when. The Lord without smaller when. The Lord without smaller when.
I wasn't knocking someone's door down. I was running from that. When I got out, I was in that. I was already through that. I had that. You know, Zuanite. You know, Zuanite. You know, Zuanite.
You got to be responsible for your actions. If you want to give me your life, I'll take it. Shariful. Shariful. Shariful.
Got nothing to do with me. I don't respond to it. I just shine it on, put it on another world, man. Shadows. 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 That's what these fucking ignorant assholes need me to be. He needs me to be violent because he needs his ass kicked. He needs a cloud, he needs a cloud,
Well, you know, maybe it was very good because you actually covered up the Tillman case for a while. You covered up the Jessica Lynch case. You covered up Abu Ghraib. So something was working for you. Was there a strategy to do it, Mr. Rumsfeld?
Well, Congressman, the implication that you said you covered up, that's just false. You have nothing to base that on. You have not a scrap of evidence or a piece of paper or a witness that would attest to that.
Well, you know, maybe it was very good because you actually covered up the Tillman case for a while. You covered up the Jessica Lynch case. You covered up Abu Ghraib. So something was working for you. Was there a strategy to do it, Mr. Rumsfeld?
Well, Congressman, the implication that you said you covered up, that's just false. You have nothing to base that on. You have not a scrap of evidence or a piece of paper or a witness that would attest to that.
What have the last 2 days been like?
It's been pretty overwhelming. You know, I've been confined for 3.5 weeks in a little cell. So it's hot. It's hot. It's hot.
How well were you treated?
Everyone at the LA County, all the sheriffs were very professional. I was treated like any other inmate, no better, no worse. And everything.
and everything.
It was a very traumatic experience, but I feel like God does make everything happen for a reason. And it gave me, you know, a time out in life just to really find out what is important.
So you have now become used to the fact that you have no privacy.
Yeah, I think it definitely comes with the territory. That was my guilt fighting it.
That was my guilt fighting it. That was my guilt fighting it.
I should never have even driven.
Call a limo.
Yeah, definitely.
Cab.
Mm-hmm. I'll never make that mistake again. I take full responsibility. And I guess about gamer event.
And I guess about gamer event. And I guess about gamer event.
I just use it as a journey to figure out myself and who I am and what I want to do. And there's just so much more to me than what people think. Just in the weed.
Just in the weed. Just in the weed.
Like driving a car recklessly and not handle the child well, you're going to be, it's right, they're going to be concerned.
Yeah, I know.
Did she talk to you about that?
I've seen her with her kids. She loves her kids. And I think it's hard for anyone when you're in the spotlight so much. It's very overwhelming. I think in life, everyone makes mistakes, and you have to learn and grow from them. And I've been a little immature in the past and made some wrong choices. And that month for.
We're here at the trademark. The motorcade is coming by here. I can see many, many motorcycles coming by now, police motorcycles. Just heard a call on the radio for all units along Industrial to pick up the motorcade. Something has happened here. We understand there has been a shooting. The presidential car coming up now. We know it's the presidential car. You can see Mrs. Kennedy's pink suit. There's a Secret Service man, spread eagle over the top of the car. We understand Governor and Mrs. Connolly are in the car with President and Mrs. Kennedy.
When you think that when Mrs. Cabell and I welcomed the President, Mrs. Kennedy, the Vice President, and Mrs. Johnson on their arrival this morning, no deserved Shabbat.
No deserved Shabbat. No deserved Shabbat.
The completely friendly atmosphere that pervaded the whole ceremony, and then that magnificent caravan through the streets of Dallas. And where we remarked that never in our lives, in the lifetime that we've spent here in Dallas, have we seen so many thousands of people turn out for any event. Ordinary Nepsfield and Mass Galloness.
Ordinary Nepsfield and Mass Galloness. Ordinary Nepsfield and Mass Galloness.
Never have we seen such enthusiasm, such warmth. Never have we seen such spontaneous applause that greeted car after car as they passed. Das näes you behouden.
Das näes you behouden. Das näes you behouden.
This is a sad time for all people. Now, this is a sin.
Now, this is a sin. Now, this is a sin.
We have suffered a loss that cannot be waived. Sorry, it must fail. Sorry, it must fail. Sorry, it must fail. For me, it is a deep personal tragedy.
Too many cooks messing with the broth, it'd mess it up. And I think that these two are trained organizations. Yes. And the Attorney General of the state holds courts of inquiries every time a law is violated. Yes. And the Justice and the FBI makes these investigations. So I want you to know that, and you'll tell your pressmen that that's what's happening. That's offset an answer. That's offset an answer. That's offset an answer.
The greatest leader of our time has been struck down by the foulest deed of our time. He'd say alive. He'd say alive. He'd say alive. For 32 years, Capitol Hill has been my home. I have shared many moments of pride with you. Pride in the ability of the Congress of the United States to act, to meet any crisis, to distill from our differences strong programs of national action. It's your drama for it's it's your drama for it's it's your drama for it's
We salute you for knowing how to pick good men. Hem du get down on fish duels. Hem du get down on fish duels. Hem du get down on fish duels. Neither of the police officers on either side made any move to push him away or to grab him. It wasn't until after the gun was fired that they then moved. That are awesome enough to the tail. That are awesome enough to the tail. How many shots were fired? 3. Any of them fired at me? No, there was no. All 3 at the president? All 3 at the president, and we have them. 2 of the shots fired at the president were splintered, but they had characteristics on them so that our ballistic expert was able to prove that they were fired by this gun. The 3rd shot, which hit the president, he was hit by the 1st and the 3rd. The 2nd shot hit the governor. The material of the festivity. The material of the festivity. The material of the festivity. The 3rd shot is a complete bullet. That's what shot it, and that's rolled out of the president's head. It tore a large part of the president's head off. And in trying to massage his heart at the hospital, on the way to the hospital, they apparently loosened that, and it fell onto the stretcher, and we recovered that. There was no lot back then, and I hadn't seen that. There was no lot back then, and I hadn't seen that. There was no lot back then, and I hadn't seen that. Usually the presidential car in the past has had steps on the back next to the bumpers, and they've usually been one on either side standing on those steps at the back bumper. Whether the president asked that that not be done, we don't know.
Came to the bottom of the ramp until the police officers had me on the ground. So I see the list in the mirror.
Had you ever planned anything like this?
I was so emotionally upset for 3 days. That's why I'm showing my awesome.
John, you went to the airport today.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yes.
John, what happened to your father?
So, he's gone to heaven.
He's gone to heaven.
Yeah.
Do you remember him?
Yeah.
What do you remember?
I don't remember anything. You see that remember up. You see that remember up. You see that remember up.
Donald Trump alleges that my dad was involved in assassinating JFK. Assassin is lawfulness. Assassin is lawfulness. Assassin is lawfulness. That just spread lies, blatant lies. But I guess Donald was dismayed because it was a couple of weeks ago the Inquirer wrote this idiotic story about JFK. Il-Dial. Il-Dial. Il-Dial.
Big shock. I mean, there's all this talk about who lost China, you know, and this was a major blow for them. But they never really controlled China. Full of Britain. Full of Britain. Full of Britain. Their plan, as I was told by the Japanese Illuminati, was to weaken China through disease and also starvation. They're trying to, engineer a global food shortage. Killing people is something I don't like, and neither do they. So the first order of business is to try to talk before things get radical. But the point is, there is a technical ability to wipe them all out in a matter of hours. The trick is to start at the very highest level and work your way down. They don't want to kill anybody if possible, but they would keep it to the minimum if possible. I deal with your world. I deal with your world. I deal with your world. I don't think he believes anything Fox News says personally. It's just business for him. He does something similar for the Chinese, that appeals to Chinese xenophobia, and it's just business for him. That won't even see it. That won't even see it. That won't even see it. Yes, I've interviewed 7 Japanese prime ministers and captains of industry and members of security police and senior gangsters. I have very good sources. I have everything on tape. I have enough evidence to convict David Rockefeller of at least 3 murders. And I realized that all the bad debt was controlled by gangsters, which really didn't make sense. Hundreds of billions of dollars controlled by gangsters? So I went and I started talking to the gangsters. Let's give them the Let's give them the Let's give them the Sure, but you know what? The Chinese have their own idea for democracy, right? Now what are you, bro? Now what are you, bro? Now what are you, bro?
Absolutely. I mean, I don't notice Swedish people knocking down the World Trade Center. There certainly is. And I came out very strongly against the mosque being built virtually across the street.
And so did I. You and I were on the same page. Okay.
And I will see you soon. I'll be back very soon. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. There's a big question mark on your head. And you can't do that to the party. You really can't. You can't do that to the party. You have to have certainty. Even if it was a 1% chance, and it's far greater than 1%. We asked Hillary. We asked Hillary. We asked Hillary.
When he gave up that email thing, he said, "Here, Hillary." And you know what? That was orchestrated by the Democratic Party. You're Larry. This is. You're Larry. This is. You're Larry. This is.
I'm getting calls. Corey can tell you. Paul can tell you. We're getting calls from people where I actually say, "How could you do this? How can you do this? How can you do it?" And they have no problem. But the fact is, names that you wouldn't believe, names that you interview and say, "Oh, Trump, Trump, Trump," and now they're calling they want to join the team. Oh, a lot of them will be coming out soon. They want to come out very soon. Yes. For 10 hours, but it's unfair to the viewers. It's too long. You know, the Democratic debate, if you look at it, that was 2 hours and it was too long. Everybody was bored at the end. They want to make this much longer than that. I was still at it. I believe it. I was still at it. I believe it. I was still at it. I believe it. Now, Trump by that time will be 5 million votes because of California and the size of California.
Now, Mr. Trump, the president has not signed an executive order to take away guns.
No, I've heard that he wants to, and I heard it, I think, on your network. Somebody said that that's what he's thinking about. I didn't say he's signing it. I said I think that would be a tough one to sign, actually.
Yes, it's impossible, in fact.
There's no fuss, boy.
There's no fuss, boy. There's no fuss, boy.
You have to use your own because they won't do anything. So we're going to take care of our vets, and we're going to take care of the VA, and it's going to be, and one of the things we're going to be releasing pretty soon, but have mercy.
Have mercy. Have mercy.
With murder. What's going to happen is, and something very important to me and to a lot of other people, but very, very important to me, is nuclear weaponry. That is your single biggest threat in the world today. Go ahead, Tom. Now get us Laura wouldn't.
Now get us Laura wouldn't. Now get us Laura wouldn't.
To me, always the number one security threat to the United States is nuclear. That's our biggest threat. It's our biggest risk. It's the under this nerve. It's the under this nerve.
It's the under this nerve.
The challenges facing us today call for a renewal of that spirit of cooperation which has accomplished so much good throughout the history of the United States. Lincoln, liberty. Martin Luther King, liberty in plurality and non-exclusion. Dorothy Day, social justice and the rights of persons. Trump.
Trump.
This conviction has led me from the beginning of my ministry to advocate at different levels the global abolition of the death penalty. For those peoples and their nations from the heart of American democracy, I wish to reaffirm my highest esteem and appreciation. Those first contacts were often turbulent and violent, but we know that it's very difficult to judge the past by the criteria of the present. When it fosters a culture which enables people to dream of full rights for all brothers and sisters, as Martin Luther King sought to do. And in times of crisis and economic hardship, a spirit of global solidarity must not be lost. Irados la Golf.
Irados la Golf. Irados la Golf.
Great things for him, and I can do great things today. My friend, it just narrows itself down what he said to Simon Peter by the Sea of Galilee, lovest thou me? My blessed is her answer. My blessed is her answer. My blessed is her answer.
That we have a beautiful day here in Salt Lake City. It is absolutely magnificent weather, and how grateful we are for it. Sparrow evil fear glad. Sparrow evil fear glad. Sparrow evil fear glad.
I'm going to ask that we all bow our heads in prayer. How boy.
And today, the false security that we have in America. It's unbelievable to me. We've sat behind these two great oceans for so long that we think it could never happen here. But inside, you know that you're not committed to Christ. Judgment coming, the storm clouds gathering, the lightning flashing, the thunder roaring. You shall smell your right. You shall smell your right. You shall smell your right.
Lord Jesus Christ said to Simon Peter after his confession, on this rock I will build my church. Simon Peter makes it very clear here that the living stone, on
the spot, which may not be obvious to those of you who are looking at them here from the surface of Earth. On the spot, which may not be obvious to those of you who are looking at them here from the surface of Earth.
But the acting it, and not certain to get through past the public. Armstrong tells us how some space program participants felt at the time of the conference in 1969. Fear of this, diverse. 33. But the space program counted on myth. Promoted myth. As Armstrong said, in myth there is free, or freedom. Hitler did it. Say a thing false long enough, and it will be believed to be true. 34. Armstrong chose the freedom of myth, even with the diverse fear that he and the program might be found faking the walk on the moon. In his own voice in reverse speech, admit I need them. 35. In reverse speech, with his own voice, Neil Armstrong said he rarely ruled, I rare rule. Then added that he and the others would rule on Sunday, we, rule this Sunday. 36. To acquire the power of ruling, in many areas of lives in the world, Armstrong and the others, complicit in the moon landing hoax, embrace the lie. In his words, we wish same lying. 37. Committed so far, Armstrong and the others, united now in an agreed conspiracy to deceive the public, convinced themselves there was no choice but to stick with it. As he said, non-negotiable. 38. Holding truth as less vital, and this hoax, walking on the moon, non-negotiable. Neil Armstrong admitted his lie only to himself, but for his subconscious that tells us now, opposite, I know. Suggests moon landing did happen, and went smoothly as told to us. Yes, 0. No, 34.
The flight, as you know, started promptly. The flight, as you know, started.
Conclusion number 39. In this portion of reverse speech, Armstrong says, they are all screwing you. To this, no comment is necessary. His words could not speak more clearly.
And I think that was characteristic of all the events of the flight. Our memory of that actually differs little from the reports that you have all heard from those previous Saturn V flights and from those previous Saturn V flights.
"48. After doing what he did the way he was told to do it, with the National Aeronautic and Space Administration, Armstrong wanted out. As he said, stay out, without NASA work. This one enough.
During this time, I also checked out the proper vehicle response to my stick inputs. During this time, I also checked out the proper vehicle response to my stick inputs. So make it sound this now zero favor out the side cash just like master. So make it sound this now zero favor out the side cash just like master. So make it sound now zero favor out the side cash just like master.
75. Collins, in reverse speech from his subconscious, admits he's a part of a scam in the Apollo 11 space program in his words. Though make it scam. Scam defined, a dishonest scheme, a fraud. 76. To maintain the scam, and not make public, the hoax that it was, money was paid to Collins, payoffs, with no paper trails evidence. As he said, 1 of 4, over the scam, 0, paper, profit. 77. To maintain the scam, and not make public, the hoax, that it was, Collins obtained payoffs, with no paper trails evidence. As he said, 2 of 4, 0 paper profit, and, like, cash, for this. 78. With a forced tone and voice, to conceal nervousness, Collins, to preserve the scam, and reverse speech, though, make it scam. Over this scam, 0 paper profit. Though, I'm masking it.
Through my window.
Through my window.
Shows the limb either right side up or upside down. I'm not sure which. It looks circly.
Even in the time I've known you, Neil, as much as that was competitive, there's such an element of decency in you as a person, and to actually be on the moon and to say, but by the grace of God, I'm the one who did it. Mm-hmm. And you know, that moment where you probably wanted a little privacy, but other than the 400+ million that were watching, you had that moment. It must be something that you have reflected on over the years.
It was special. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit.